Hello, and welcome back to the ever-expanding Dudeverse. I am your boastful host, Brandon, and I am here with my co-host, Computer Glass. This is my podcast page. I used to do a podcast, now I don't, now I do again, and I'm not planning on doing any editing, so good luck to me. This absolutely has nothing to do with the podcast. These are simply lighting my face blue. Let's change it to white by opening up Safari. Look at that. Okay. There we go. I asked you, really? Now? I asked you on YouTube, which you're on now, to give me some questions, because I don't know what I want to talk about as my first podcast back, but I have a couple questions and I'm gonna do that, so why not? 23 comments. I saw a couple questions on here which were pretty cool. I've talked about most of them. A lot of questions like how did I get started in YouTube and stuff like that. Well, I've talked about that many times. I'll talk about it again if you'd like. I'm just gonna go down the line of whichever ones I like. This hopefully won't be too long, but it might. I tend to ramble. Allie the Lifeguard, good for you. Hopefully you're good at it. On YouTube says, how do you come up with the idea, or how did you come up with the idea of the Google Translate recipes? Those are my favorite. Love your channel, Brandon. Love you, Allie the Lifeguard. Love what you do. How did I come up with the Google Translate? I stole it. I'm kidding. Thank you to our sponsor. No one yet. Don't look at the candy wrapper trash. We're new here, okay? This is my junk room. Well, the whole apartment's pretty junk. But, question. How did I come up with the Google Translate? Good one. Let's look. So, when I started doing YouTube, I believe 2011 is when I started. And I was doing comedy, of course. I was doing music, but then I switched into doing comedy. And I really didn't know what to do, which kind of leads into another good question that people ask is like, how do you come up with these ideas? And I'll get to that. But a lot of people want to know, yeah, we'll get to that. No worries. I told you I'm going to ramble, but I'm going to be concise with this question. How did I come up with the Google Translate? Why are you still here? Okay, I don't. We're gonna get into it. I'm trying to find my channel to let you know exactly when I did said things. Videos, recently uploaded, sure. And I started doing Google Translate as not cooking, believe it or not. Google Translate started out as like me doing, I took tweets or like quotes or like rap. I think it started with rap. I would take rap songs and I would translate it through Google Translate and then I would rap that. I have since all deleted those because of copyright. But the first ever Google Translate I did was Rap God by Eminem. I took the fast part and I translated it and then I rapped it, which was pretty cool in my opinion. Didn't really do much. No one liked it. And then it went into, tweets and quotes or jokes. I would translate those. And I got the idea for Google Translate from an already existing YouTube channel, which I've said many times. I might as well give them the credit. Don't be impressed. I typed in Google Trans.ladder. I was not correct. Was it Twisted Translations? Yes. So Twisted Translations on YouTube started. They do music. So I took that. I am all for taking people's ideas. I'll get into it. But changing it a little bit. So I noticed they were doing singing and I was like, I don't like to sing, I'll do rapping. And so shout out to Twisted Translations. They started it as far as I know. And so I went from there doing those, and then I had the idea to this was my idea, okay? As far as I know, no one else has ever done it. I think the first cooking video I did was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but I'll talk and scroll at the same time so we can find out. I believe I was the first one. They weren't doing cooking at all, and I wanted to stop doing singing, rapping, because it was too close, and I like the idea of taking someone's idea and changing it a bit, not... Because if you do that, then a new idea will come. And that was the idea. And eventually I got the idea to run the recipe of a cake mix through Google Translate. And that was the first cooking Google Translate that I came up with. That's how I came up with it. And that video, it was very popular. It didn't blow up or anything, but it did better than all my other videos, which is why I continued to do it. So, that's how I came up with it. I did not start the Google Translate trend. I just perfected it. So that's why I'm not too mad when pages like, I think it's Tasty. Why am I all caps? That is aggressive. I think Tasty started doing Google Translate cooking videos, which I'm okay with. Hopefully they find their own thing. It's not mine. I mean, I came up with it, but I stole it from someone else, if you know what I mean. So the cooking idea was mine. Google Translate wasn't mine. And that was in the beginning when you just have no idea what's gonna work. So I just did whatever. So I found one thing that worked, which is why I still do it. And I do not mind if any of you, I think the boys also do a version of, yeah, they do a version of Google Translate cooking as well. And I'm okay with that, so. That's how it came about, I guess, to answer your question with a long-winded answer. And then it just got weirder from there. I mean, they've always been weird, but they grow into other things. And that's why I'm okay. If someone wants to do Google Translate cooking, do it. I don't care. If yours are super popular, I do not care. The boys are very popular, so do it. Make your money, I don't care. Specimen 2.0, yes you are, said, please do talk about how the heck, all caps, you come up with these bizarre video ideas in the first place, and the cleanup process after the bizarre video is over and your room is trashed. Good question. Good time to take a sip. How do I come up with my video ideas? It changed since the beginning, since we talked about the Google Translate. In the beginning, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just wanted to do comedy, so I would do sketches and rants and the Google Translate thing. I would do anything. That's all. Just whatever came to mind, I would do it. Sometimes I would do emotional, like funny songs. Sometimes I did that. But now it's kind of, since it's my full-time job, it's kind of streamlined a bit more. But I still do, I have the same approach as when I started. So if you're wanting to start a YouTube channel and you want to become successful, that's like my tag to get you to stick around. Listen up. Okay. So, as it stands now, there's no preparation. Zero. You can tell the videos that I prepare, because they take way too long. And you can tell there's a little production to it. For the most part, like the 5-minute craft videos, in the beginning when I started doing 5-minute crafts, I would find a 5-minute craft that I thought was funny. And this is a hard thing to explain. Like it just clicks. Like I'll see something, a 5-minute craft video, and it'll just click. Like, yes, I can do something with that. That's funny. Not in the sense of like the craft is funny, but I know I can work with it. It has enough components that I can make it weird. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I just know that's one. So that's a hard thing to explain. But I'll get maybe 5 or 6 of those that I'm like, they click. Boom. I don't think about it. I don't plan it. Don't prepare. but I do go shop and get the stuff for it. So I have to get so that I have the products. And then when I start filming is when I start noticing the through line is what I call it. So the funny of the video, kind of how it all starts to connect, and then at the end it's like a big callback. I don't plan that any of that out, and I don't know that's going to happen. It just does, okay? And I have to just hope it works itself out in filming, kind of like this. But with 5-minute crafts, there's some that are really big, like the ball pit one. I didn't have a 5-minute craft for that. I just wanted to fill my room with ball pit balls. So I obviously prepared by buying all the balls and getting them here, setting the room up, and all of that. Any other video, sometimes I'll get just like the vlogs where I'm like in my car and I'm ranting, or now I do it in my office. Most of the time it's just I get a tiny idea, like either something that happened recently or in the past, or something like as I'm driving. I'm swatting gnats here, okay? I know it looks like I'm talking with my hands, but I'm swatting gnats. It smells like you think it would in here. There's no cuts here. It's just raw me. Put that on a shirt. Raw me. Like most of the rants, I don't plan out. I don't write jokes ever, which is one of the questions, and I'll get to it. But if like Autumn said something funny and I'm driving to work and I'm like, that's the idea for today. That's an also thing I also can not explain. Don't try to make sense of that. It's another one of those things that I can't really explain, but when an idea pops into my head, I know like that's the idea. That's the video. And most of the time it's never a complete idea. It's always a, that's funny. Make that a video. So I'm looking at the weird ways to open a bottle, which is the second most popular video on my channel. And how I came up with that video was the idea on my way to work was something that happened the night before, where I went to a party with my wife and I couldn't open a bottle because they make me drink. I say make me, but I do it. I had a bottle, I didn't know how to open it because they don't have openers, okay? My wife is from Mexico, so is her family. And so I always give my bottle to someone else, and they open it with the weirdest things, belly buttons, and so that was the only idea. And so I just went to the store, bought a bunch of glass bottle Cokes, and that was the idea. I didn't know it would become that while filming. I was just like, I told the story, and then I actually looked for a 5-minute craft to emulate the opening a bottle, and it just turned into a story time. It was weird. I don't know. It flows as I film, which most of my videos are that. As for the prepared videos, like the light bulb video, there was one other. Yeah, I've only prepared like 2 videos. But the light bulb video was all scripted. All of it was scripted. I knew what I was going to do ahead of time. It took me a month to set up, buy the stuff, and it was horrible. I hated it, and I never want to do that again, ever. Please watch. So, how I come up with ideas is just, it just hits me. Like, that's the idea. And then I do it. Early on, it takes a lot of practice, but I think everyone can get to this point. Because I was doing daily videos, so I had to come up with an idea every day. So I kind of have an idea of when an idea hits, like what format does it fit in? Would that be a good vlog? Would that be good exploding stuff in the room? Like, how should I go about this video? That's just from trial and error on my end, just to figure out what you guys like. And I like you, so stuff. But in the beginning it was tough. It would take me a long time to figure out like what to film, and then even then, like if it was a rant or a vlog, which I just off the top of my head rant and then piece it together, like just cut video. But in the beginning it was tough because I couldn't come up with jokes that fast, or like think of the full story ahead of time as I'm telling it. I'll practice. So just do it a bunch and you get good at it, I guess. Oh. Lindsay Johnson on YouTube, everyone's on YouTube here, says, I don't know about anyone else, but I'd love to hear your life story, how you grew up, and how you started YouTube if you want to talk about that. But then there was a couple comments were like, no, don't. So I think I'll go into that eventually. But how I started YouTube was I just was doing it on the side. I was working various jobs, and I just wanted to do comedy. And long story short, I was homeless in LA doing that, which most people know. And I was filming just like daily vlogs about what happened at work. And I was doing that while working full-time. Ended up filming a video in my uniform, and it blew up, and I got in trouble, and I got fired. And now I'm doing this full-time, so it worked out. We can do that later. Ooh. Belgica? Stop that. Paulo Rodriguez. Oops, on your name, sorry. Talk about acting, creating, and your goals on camera outside of YouTube. I will do my best. Acting and creating? I don't think this has anything to do with what you're asking, but this may be fun to know. I have this certain personality type that, hope my microphone's on. I've had, boy, that's a story in its own of not filming audio for an entire video. I have this personality to where it depends on who I'm around, dictates how I act, which is weird. I know. So you'll notice like in videos when I'm with Cam, I act different, I talk different, my jokes are different, my delivery is different. When I'm by myself, completely different. And when I'm with Angel, the dynamic is different. So I kind of adapt to who I'm around. This goes with like the acting, creating part. When I'm by myself, I'm most comfortable, obviously, because I just do me. Like right now, I'm in podcast mode, which is like, I don't want to punch a hole through this yet, or make a mess. Like I just want to talk to you, and if you want to listen, cool. So that's why a lot of people didn't like Cameron early on when we started filming together, because I acted different. And they were like, that you're weird around him. And I'm like, no, I'm playing off his energy. Like I can't be my crazy, over the top self when Cameron is in the video, because then it's like competing energies. You want to be fluid. I say something, you say something. We're two peas in a pod. And it's not fake. Like who I am with Cam is not fake. It's just it's just how I do comedy, I guess. I'm just different with other people. I'm just built different, okay? I'm just way cooler and way better than anyone you know ever. But yeah, that's why in certain videos, in certain situations, I'm different. So, like if I'm filming out in public by myself, I'm nervous and I'm around other people, so it's like a weird version of me, which is why I don't film in public. If I can hear someone hear me, I'm also a little reserved in what I do and it seems off. But for the most part, that wild, crazy, that's me. I want to do that. When I'm at home with my wife and kids, it's more like this. I'm quiet, I'm laid back, and when I get a burst of energy, I just, let's do it, okay? That's me. I don't know. If that has anything to do with acting, creating. Goals-wise, this is the joy of having a podcast and the joy of watching it. You know more than anyone else, because I'm not going to say any of this on my main channel. Goals-wise, I don't really have goals too much outside of YouTube or like content creation in general. And I mean, that could be a whole episode. I have to check the time to make sure I'm not being cut off here. That's a whole episode on its own. I love talking goals and stuff like that, but I don't want to get too deep into it. I kind of just want to hit a bunch of stuff in this one, and then you guys be like, oh, that was cool, talk more about that, or in the comments be like, do this again, or talk about this. And then we can kind of cater episodes towards it. The reason I deleted all the previous episodes were because we got demonetized because I was letting people talk how they want to talk. Ew. It was a little off-brand, and it just wasn't good. So I deleted everything but one. But goals-wise, outside of YouTube, not many. Something no one else knows, and I'll probably just upload this today. We're leaving this. The iconic room that we explode and blow stuff up in the kitchen is over. I bought a place that I can film in, bought so that I can feel comfortable. If I want to do something crazy, I won't feel bad. I won't have neighbors. There's neighbors on every corner, which stops me from filming a lot of the time. Like I game in here, and this wall is like neighbors are right there, and I know them. They're really cool, but I feel weird screaming. And new guy upstairs just moved in, so I get hesitant to speak up. So that's why we have a new place. It has a little bit of property, so I can like be crazy outside as well, but I'm also gonna do stupid stuff inside. So thanks for watching the podcast. We're not done, just thank you. So that's something no one else is gonna know until the videos start coming out of me filming there. So we're in the process of buying it. It's really cool. I'm excited to show you. It may take a couple months, but we will do the final video here, like a big goodbye and stuff like that. It'll be sad, everyone cries. Gives me money. Goals inside of YouTube, however, or not YouTube, but content creation. I'm starting like other things like this podcast. I know this one isn't going to be huge because it's all over the place, and you just have to, my mindset is you just have to start, and then the ideas will come. So take action, and then the idea will come. So this podcast I'll ramble on for an hour, however long I want, maybe just a 30-minute episode, and if people watch it, good. If not, good. It'll eventually grow into something. I'm also trying to do more live stuff, so streaming live, but I'm kind of waiting until we get into the new place, which is an excuse. I'm just scared. I don't really know how to stream successfully, or what to do, and that just goes against completely my whole theory of take action, the idea comes. I'm just scared, but I will eventually. Yeah. So I want to do lives, I want to do the podcast, still doing main channel stuff. I'll eventually start doing more now that I have all the property in the house to do so. It's so crowded in here. I don't know if you watched the video on my shorts channel of me throwing away the animatronics, but that's how crowded this place is. It's just so crowded that I either have to throw stuff away or just rent out storage units, which is stupid. So, that answers a question, I'm sure. And I will, since it's possibly how you come up with your jokes, or if they come naturally, maybe speak about what it's like coming up with videos. So we talked about the videos. The jokes thing, I think I touched on it as it's just practice. In the beginning, jokes were hard for me. I'm a funny dude naturally, I like to think. Like, I'm quick on my feet. But being in front of the camera is different than being around other people. You kind of have that input. So if someone says something, my mind goes, say that. And I'm like, bleh. And they're like, wow, you're funny. And I'm like, I know. It's my coping mechanism. For some reason, was I abused? I don't think so, but I'm coping somehow with humor. And when it comes to videos, it's different. You can be a funny person around other people, but if you're going to film by yourself, that's a completely different aspect, which I do. And I never assumed that I was funny, like, by myself. And I wasn't, and that kind of showed in my videos, because you're weird on camera. You don't know how to talk to no one, so that's a skill you have to learn. And then once you're comfortable doing that, then kind of your own, I'm still swatting gnats, I'm just being elegant about it, okay? Then once you're more fluid on camera, your brain can work out jokes quicker. You're not as nervous and stuff like that. And then it does take practice. So you kind of, I don't really know how to explain it, but you eventually start, it's just kind of like when you're doing like rapping and you're like off the top of your head, you think, there's no way I could just rap and make things rhyme. But if you practiced enough, you would start to understand formats and timing and rhythm, and it would start to become easier. And that's the same with jokes. I don't think you have to be funny naturally. I think that can be taught. And yeah, I pride myself on never scripting jokes. It's just, even like the Google Translates, 5-minute crafts, nothing scripted. It's start filming, struggle for an intro, and once I get that first joke, that's when like my body's like, all right, we're good, let's do it. So I really play off of things very well, which is why like podcasts and stuff like this are very calm-ish. Whereas a Google Translate, I'm reacting to something and I can go above and beyond. So it varies, but jokes off the cuff by yourself filming, it can all be practiced. I would say just practice. I did it every day for 4 years. I do it every day, continually. I film every day, and I don't post every day. That's how you know some videos are stupid. You never see them. I don't know how long I want to do this. Possibly just half an hour, which is 4 minutes from now. I do want to do a day in the life eventually. My music career is dead. I could talk about that eventually. I don't do it anymore. Yeah, a lot of people are just asking how I come up with stuff. Anything. It could be looking over here and I see something that triggers an idea to do something. And I have this belief that all the ideas are they're just out there. And whoever the idea wants to be done, it's whoever wants to take it. So, which bugs me a lot of the time because I don't watch a lot of other creators, but when I come up with an idea and I'm like, it hits me and I'm like, I want to do that, and I do it. It lines up with what someone else has already done. And this is the internet where people just assume like, oh, you stole that from so-and-so, or you're trying to be so-and-so. And I'm like, who's that? And then I go watch and I'm like, crap, that's, yeah, I can see it. But I don't like to take trends. I don't like to, this goes against how I started. I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, so I took ideas from other people and tried to make them my own. Now, I'm trying to be my own person and not steal ideas from other people to twist and make my own. I'm trying to do it myself. So come up with the concept myself and do it. So it does bug me sometimes when people say like, oh, you're trying to be like so-and-so. And I'm like, no, I've been doing this a very long time. But that's the internet, and I'm hardened to it. But it's nice to know that a lot of big creators get that. I filmed recently with Unspeakable, which that video should come out this week, next week, I don't know. We filmed 2 videos together. And that was one that I got a lot because I did a video where I had the ball pit balls in the room up to my neck, and all the comments were, you stole this idea from Unspeakable. And I didn't know who that was at the time. And I told him this. And so I Googled, or I looked him up on YouTube, and his whole channel is about like ball pit balls. And I'm like, God, and our thumbnails were exactly the same. His head was in ball pit balls, mine is in ball pit balls. And I was like, this does look like I was stealing content, but I don't. And for me, to you, if you're ever wondering, like, does Brandon steal content? I don't. I really don't. I'll say this and then I'll go. The weirdest one that happened recently that was like, I hated. I had this idea for years to blow up fireworks in my room. I just was always afraid because I'm renting and I don't want to. And I found a way to do it safely this year, and I did it. And it turns out I uploaded it at the exact same time as iShowSpeed went live and did his. And his went viral, and everybody's like, iShowSpeed wannabe. And that bugs me because I was like, no, the idea just hit me. And it is eerily similar, and I hate it. But that's for another time, just so you know. Thank you for watching. I'm done. That's the podcast. until I come up with another idea that I want to film, this is it. I just want to get something up, get the ball rolling. I love you. Hope you have the best day ever, mainly because I said so, mostly because you want to.